Hey everybody, BTO Pro here. Just want to check in real quick with something pretty sick, just able to build into HAX. So if you go to webcomponents.org, there's this editor called Juicy Ace Editor. It's a custom element. It's actually a vanilla web component. Doesn't require Polymer or anything. You can go check it out. The real magic of it is it's actually built on top of something called Ace, which is its own editor, right? So this whole thing is supplied by Ace. However, the Juicy Ace editor turns it into copy and paste this and it'll show up. So as I'm addicted to abstraction, I actually built on top of that. So I built another element on top of that element called Code-Editor. And so this does the Polymer level data binding. And so what you see here is exactly like before. I get code collapse. I have a half decent looking UI. It's in read-only mode by default as another little thing, so I type, I can't do anything. However, if I add the show code pen flag, it's going to take the information that was located in there and the name of this element, in this case code sample, and it's going to pop it up on CodePen. Pretty cool. So I'm going to publish this right now because at the end there's that interesting... Right. So I'm going to push this up to the code there. So now this custom element is out there. Code editor. Cool. It's on top of that. Whatever. The real fun comes when we get into this. So what we've effectively done is we've exposed the code editor to HAX. However, HAX is now able to utilize the code editor to edit code. So what you get is an authoring interface provided by the element that is supplying the authoring interface. So to go, into inception here, make Gizmo, I now have a code editor. And when I make a code editor, I see two tabs here. So I can now edit this code editor element from before. So let's call it this cool thing. And I can, because of data binding, say, hey, CodePen button, sick. And then I go over here and I start typing and I can't do anything. But I'm using the editor to edit the editor. And so what I'll be able to do is I'm going to be able to paste in anything I want and it'll show up over there. So this then gets mirrored over to this side and it's taking into account templating, so or a template element rather. So when I paste this video player in, it doesn't unpack, even though the DOM has knowledge of what a video player is. You see, I get my real-time updating. It's kind of neat looking. I could, hit this and just get the full, reflection. It's taking out the white space. But another fun thing is I could reference an import that already exists out there. So let's paste in, link tag, which is pointing to the definition of video player, and we're going to add video player into this. Then I'm going to hit insert, and so now what we have is we have our custom element in the DOM. It can't be modified here because it's read-only when it's visualized here. Let's do video player. Maybe this is something in which we're talking about the video player tag. Try out video player tag for yourself. Okay, and we want to position that nicely. There we go. I could turn off that CodePen button, but what's the point of trying if I can't hit the CodePen button? So I'm going to disable HAX, then I'll hit save, and then theoretically we have this in our content. And now I'm going to hit that CodePen button, and it's going to take that data binding, insert the stuff into it that was inside of it, and now you can check out the video player tag based on just doing the import of the video player tag. It's pretty stinking neat. So this, another concept I'm working with right now as to why I went down this rabbit hole is concept of an inline custom element, right? So we've been showing a lot of block-based custom element integration. But now I should be able to do inline Gizmo, and now Vocab, which is made by Chuck Lavera. He's another developer, works on Elms and some of the LRN stuff. He's been working on this thing called Vocab. And so Vocab, if I hit it, the idea would be that it's going to take what it is I selected. So I'm still working on the selection criteria. So it'll pre-populate the word that you've selected, because I also wired up his element to HAX, and then I told it to utilize the code editor that I just made. So what I can do now is I can actually dump in a video player tag. And what it's going to do is it's going to data bind to the slot of this tag. So then when I open it, and it's a stack order thing, I actually have whatever is in this editor reflected here. So if I put 4 of them, it'll reflect, and I'll show 4 there. So I'm going to insert. It's not actually going to dump it into the DOM at the moment, but let's just add it again. This is highly experimental. I just broke it. So I'm going to make Gizmo vocab 1, 2, 3, and video player rocks. But maybe you didn't know what video player was, so then you want to click on it or what have you. Hit save, and now if I hit video player rocks, there are my 3 videos in that slot. So still working on some of the reverse slot binding, if you will, so that I could select this and then, let's update that text. But right now it's not sending this data back into the editor, right? I need it to kind of pre-populate as the default. I can update it again, but that's just a slot binding thing I'm working through right now. So yeah, that is the code editor. I can check another box off the list. Again, because abstraction is fun, the code editor works all by itself. And you could use it on any site, HAX or not, but now it's starting to power kind of our code edit view with HAX, which means we'll be able to wire it in pretty easily to start to do kind of a view source and edit source type of a deal. So, chat you later.